ear, the mouth. It is through these marvels of nature that we get information and pass it on to others. And there is another important component in this circuit, and that is the brain. It is with the brain that we process the information gained through the eyes and ears and reformulate it so that it can be communicated through speech. Everyone has the need and desire to be able to read and listen and communicate. For it is by reading and listening that we learn, and by speaking that we communicate what we know. When people cannot read and listen, they will be hampered in every pursuit of the mind. They will have difficulty with success in school and later in the workplace. The Langsford Center is a place that has as its mission to develop lifelong independent learners. It is the goal of the Langsford Center to arm students of all ages with the power to read, to listen, and to comprehend.
Everything that we do is very individualized. The goal for one student may be very different than a goal for another, but in general, we're looking to create a child who is a lifelong learner.
Every student is different, and that is why the Langsford Center uses a prescriptive approach in working with each student. A student's program is tailored to meet his or her individual needs.
The work that's done is very specific and very prescriptive to that student. So when we see two people who may even have a very similar profile when they begin, in a matter of a week or less, they are in different places doing different things.
And you're here today to do a few little screening tests.
The Langsford Center process begins with giving a student a group of tests to assess where the student has strengths and weaknesses.
We really are looking for two things in a testing. One is to identify if the person is a good fit for our programs. Most of the time that can be decided just upon a phone call. So very few people go through the testing process that wouldn't be appropriate students. If the student is appropriate, then we look through all of their testing to determine a plan of action. Basically what we're trying to do with an assessment is to identify if the underlying processing skills are intact. From an assessment we can determine not only whether or not these skills are intact for good reading, good comprehension, good visual motor processing, but we can also determine exactly where the breakdown is in the process. We can determine not only that there is a problem, but how to fix it.
The Langsford Center uses a team approach in developing the prescription for each student. A program coordinator works with the student, and each week the student's progress is reviewed by the entire Langsford Center team, and adjustments are made to ensure the student's success.
The Langsford Center has a unique model in that there's a program coordinator, unlike tutoring centers that might have a teacher working with 2 or 3 students. At the Langsford Center, you have a program coordinator who's overseeing this person's profile and is so clear on the needs of that student that a plan is written and the program coordinator then would meet with the teachers.
The progress that a student is making is continually being evaluated by the program coordinator all the way through the process, and that person will be in the student sessions every 3 to 4 hours, looking to see how the student is progressing, whether or not they're ready to move up to the next level. And so that is what you may think of in the educational realm as authentic assessment, just monitoring what they're doing on a subjective level. And that information is discussed each week in our staff meeting so that any staff members who are working with that client have an opportunity to talk about what they're seeing with that student, if they feel like the material that they're working on is too easy, too difficult, or just right. And then at the end of the process, we do an evaluation, which is a more formal testing to measure the actual gains that the student has made through the process.
What part of the tongue, what it's doing, what's happening with the rest of your mouth.
The professional staff of the Langsford Center undergoes more than 160 hours of training before ever meeting with a student, and continuing education and training play a substantial role in the ongoing effort throughout the year. The Langsford Center was co-founded and is co-directed by Claudia Shervanack and Stephen McCrocklin. Each has a different set of skills, gifts, and talents, which is brought to this effort.
Claudia Shervanack comes to the work that she does here with a background in teaching, a master's degree in reading as a reading specialist, and with classroom experience. I come to the work we do with a very different perspective. I come to the work we do having had a difficulty in school. I wasn't a good reader and graduated from grade school basically as a non-reader. Developed some compensative skills in high school that pulled me through, and I was able to graduate from college, but I had to work terrifically hard for the grades that I got. And I knew that I was not alone. I knew that there were other kids who had to work hard for their grades. And I found resources after college that changed this for me. And I bring to my work a level of understanding of what it is like to go through school and to not be able to participate in extracurricular activities.
Parents of students who have attended the Langsford Center say it best. This mother talks about her son Michael's success after attending the Langsford Center during one summer.
His ability to read by the end of that summer was unbelievable. He went into first grade completely confident that he could handle anything, and he could. He's had incredible success in school. It was the right program for him, and he loved it. I've been a teacher most of my adult life, and I think back to students that I had who worked so hard, who were never able to achieve their potential, and I think how much they could have benefited from this program. I recommend the Langsford Center heartily. It's amazing to me what it did for Michael and what I know it could do for a lot of students that I'm teaching now and what it could have done for students I've taught in the past.
You have to give the staff members that credit for making the child feel comfortable and wanting to come and making it fun.
Other parents have written letters with comments like these.
My husband and I both wish to thank and commend your staff for the miracle they made happen in regard to our son Sam. Not only has Sam's reading improved 100%, but he himself now shows an interest in wanting to read and is proud of it.
We don't know where we'd be without your program. The need for such intensive work would not have occurred to me, but having been through the program, I don't know where Blaine would be without such steady, rapid action.
And this from an adult student.
I'm not sure how one goes about thanking someone for a gift of knowledge other than to say thank you all for being who you are. I feel very privileged in my 48th year of life to still be able to learn new things and yet wonder what did I miss by not being able to comprehend as well as I should. I surely won't dwell on the latter, but will continue to focus on the future with my newly learned skills.
This teacher sees the success the Langsford Center has with students.
It's so important for children, beginning readers, to feel good about themselves, and they realize immediately if they're not reading as well as Johnny or Susie. And just sometimes a few sessions with the Langsford Center, their self-esteem improves greatly, and their work level, we can see in the classroom, really skyrockets. So it's a wonderful experience to see them so happy with it, because usually any time a child is having extra work, they feel like they're being punished. And this is a reward system for them.
Principal Phil DiMartini sums it up this way.
There seems to be 20 to 25% of any school population which could have or will develop reading difficulties. And we're not talking about, with Langsford, we're not talking about somebody being assigned a tutor to do homework or to make up some math work for a day if somebody was absent. We're talking about somebody going into somebody's reading treasure chest and teaching them how to read.
The Langsford Center is a special place, unlike any other. A caring place with highly trained, highly motivated professionals who have one goal in mind: to help every person enrolled to read, to listen, and to comprehend. For information about educational assessments, one-to-one sessions, curriculum development, teacher training, call us at 502-473-7000 or visit us at www.langsfordcenter.com.